Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me. Last week, reached a bit of a milestone. 2 years ago, since I walked out the door and left my career years behind me. And oh, what a journey it's been. This video is a bit of a 2 year check in and a bit of a reality check. There are a lot of expectations out there about retirement. I have some key learnings that I'm going to share, but each of them from the perspective of what I thought it would be like when I retired, what my own expectations were, what the general public kind of assumes about retirement, and then most importantly, three, what my experience has actually been. And let me tell you, those three things do not always align. So, first off, I think it goes without saying that retirement is different for everyone. The journey we go on is as unique as each one of us. And so, just to give you a little context from where I come, I was in the health system for 30 plus years, 32 years, 33 years at different levels of leadership, and was always in a position where I was tethered to my phone, always kind of on call 24/7. And when I first started to talk about retirement, a lot of colleagues and friends said to me, are you sure this is what you want to do? You've always been pretty committed to your job. And so it was going to be a big shift. People really questioned whether I should. And so I retired at 55. I know not everyone wants to retire at 55 or can retire at 55. For me, I was able to. That had always been my plan. And when the time came, I felt it was ready for me. And I know others, even if they can retire at 55, aren't ready to do so. Again, we're all in our own timeline here. So there seems to be a general assumption by many people about when someone retires, they've reached the end of the road. The working years are over, and now things are slowing down, and it might be all downhill from here. Ha! Not so. I don't know what road I'm on now. Like, I need a roadmap. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing, is how I was thinking going into retirement. And now that I've been in this little stage of life for 2 years, I heard this quote the other day, and it just makes perfect sense. Retirement is not the end of the road, it is the start of the open highway. That has been my experience. And not just the open highway with lots of options for scenic routes to go down and explore things that you never really had time to do before. And when we talk about exploring things we haven't done before, one of the things that I thought that I would maybe not do anymore was lifelong learning, taking courses, studying, all of those things. I've done that my entire working career, always maintaining certifications for certain things or just ongoing learning and taking courses at work, taking courses online, going to conferences, always trying to stay current with the information. I thought, yikes. So now there's not really a need to do that anymore. What will happen with my brain if I'm not learning? And so I worried a little bit about that. I don't really know what the public's assumption is about that. I do think there is an assumption that retirement is not a time to be studying and learning and exercising your brain from an academic perspective. I say that might be the assumption from others because of the response I've gotten when I've told people that I am taking courses. That lots of people will say, well, you're retired. Why are you doing all that now? And so my experience has been I have taken so many courses in these last 2 years, online courses, free courses, paid courses. So I did continue to learn more. I probably took more courses in these last 2 years than I did in the last 2 years, my last 2 years of working. And I've gone in different directions. I've explored different things. I was doing some reading. I started to read a book about breathing, about breath, about breathing in and out through your nose. I know. Who knew that was even a thing or an issue? That led to me reading another book about breathing and the best way to breathe for optimal health. And then I started to incorporate that into my exercise plan. And when I'm running, I've been trying to breathe in and out through my nose. All of that just kind of stumbled on and found it as I was exploring a new area. That led to me continuing to read and actually ultimately getting my certification in as a functional breathing instructor. It feels good to explore some of these scenic routes or take that side road on this open highway of retirement. Do something that you haven't done before. Who would have thought that I'd be taking a course, a fairly detailed course on how to start a YouTube channel and how to make videos. So when I first enrolled in this YouTube course, they kept using the term subs. They talk about subs and subs this and subs that. I wasn't very familiar with YouTube. I didn't even know what subs meant. It means subscribers. So I need a few more subs. I'm still only at 130. So if you are liking this content, please hit like below, share the video, and become a subscriber. That's what a sub is. I learned that in my post retirement course I took. Never stop learning. And this is such a prime time in life to exercise and energize our brains. Okay, this next item is a little odd. And again, retirement is as unique as each one of us. So this may or may not be relevant to you. One of the things that I heard people say about retirement before I actually retired was about, oh my goodness, so there's lots of time to cook and clean. You'll declutter your house. You'll be making meals. You'll learn to cook. Other people said, no, you won't cook at all. You'll be probably dining out. It's easier just to eat out now, and you'll feel like you have more time. And so you'll just want to dine out so that you'll stay connected to people. There were kind of mixed feedback that I had heard on this. And I was listening carefully to what people were saying about their retirement years as I was gearing up for mine. I think my own thoughts, what I thought would happen with the cooking and the cleaning. Well, one, I didn't think I'd be doing a lot of cooking. Not really my thing. Um, don't really like to clean either, but I did think I would be doing lots of decluttering. Oh, finally, I will have some time to clean out my junk rooms, clean out those junk drawers, and really start to freshen my home up and get rid of things that we have cluttered in our home for the last 30 plus years. And so I really thought I was going to that would be the first thing I started with. So, what my experience has actually been is none of those rooms are decluttered yet. Maybe for my third year of retirement, that will be the focus because it still is a need. That still has to be done. But the thing that surprised me the most is the whole cooking thing. I warned my husband, so my husband's still working, I'm retired. But as I was getting ready for retirement, I warned my husband over and over, don't think I'm just going to be like home cooking and cleaning all the time. That has never been a part of my life. We've been working parents all of our lives, and we shift and adapt based on who was home first, who would start supper, all of that. And so I was very fearful that he was going to think, oh, yeah, she's gonna be home all day, so she can probably start to cook and have my meal ready for the first time ever, in our lives. So I warned him that that would not be the case. Well, that is the case. Not because I feel obligated to do it. I have found or discovered this love of cooking. I kid you not when I say that almost every night in these since I've retired, not every night, there's always exceptions, but certainly more nights than not, my husband's supper is cooked and being served up as he walks through the door. I know no one is more surprised about this than I am. I still keep telling him, even as recently as yesterday, I keep saying, don't get used to this. This is probably just a phase I'm going through. It's not going to be like this forever. During those working years, it felt that meal preparation was just another thing that we were trying to squeeze into the schedule. Not a lot of thought. It was just about get it get it ready, get it done, and get out the door again. And so this has just been an absolute delightful surprise for me that I'm not stressed about the cooking. I love to try new things. I can do it at a leisurely pace. I don't even really think about it. It just happens quite naturally and has merged quite nicely with my schedule. This whole retirement thing is new to me, and this still may be just a phase for me. It may not always stay like this. So, this next one, I'm so curious to hear from other people what your experience has been with this once you retired, is about relationships and mainly about relationships with colleagues. When you work, whatever, however many hours a week, 40 plus hours a week for all of those years, the people you work with become a huge part of your life. And I've often heard people, again, what the general public seems to say about retirement is that, you know what, all those relationships fade away. You might keep one or two, but most of those relationships just kind of fizzle away. What I actually thought prior to my retirement is I knew that I had some pretty strong relationships. Like some of these people I've worked with for more than 20 years. And there are a couple that more than 30 years, but many, the majority, I have worked with for at least the last 10 years. And so I thought those relationships are pretty well established. And so I'll maintain those, and they will continue to be a part of my life and an important part of my weekly or monthly kind of connections. And so I wasn't that concerned about it really. I just assumed that those relationships would be maintained. So, what my experience has been is a little bit different. And it took me a while. I must say that I was a little, I don't know, not hurt, but or disappointed, but just a little surprised. Some of those relationships absolutely have maintained, and I feel very strongly that are such meaningful relationships are going to continue to maintain. But some of the ones that I really thought were significant relationships did not continue, after I walked out the doors. And again, I at first I was a little offended, I think, with that, but then I started thinking, okay, well, it's me that has all the extra time. It should be me making the effort to reach out. And I did in a couple situations, and some of them just didn't respond back. And it took me a little bit to realize that is absolutely okay. Not all those relationships are meant to last forever. As they say, people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So I think it's something to be aware of. It caught me a little off guard. Not that not all relationships were maintained, but it's about which relationships weren't. But I'm completely good with it now, and still absolutely reach out to some of the folks that I don't have as many connections with anymore. The other side of that is that I've renewed connections and relationships with people that kind of drifted away during these last several years because just so busy with work or raising families, whatever it was. And so some of those relationships have become more solidified and feel great. So I think just understand that relationships may be fluid, some of them. They're there for a reason. Enjoy them, appreciate them, be grateful for them, but also be open to new relationships down the road. My channel is Lead Your Living, about taking the lead in your own life, your wellness, your work, your leisure. And if retirement is something that is relevant to you, I have a few videos on my channel about 3 little surprises in the first month of retirement. And then I talk about the first year of retirement. And then I talk about getting bored in retirement. It is a journey, and it has different phases and stages, just like every other aspect of life. It is what you make it.